Manitoba. In goal, number 33, Olivia Roberts. At defense, number 44, Marissa Thompson. Her defensive partner is number 13, Beatrix Gibson Struthers. At wing, number 5, Charlie Proctor. At wing, number 71, Adley Harrison. And the center is number 11, Briley Munting. And the rest of Manitoba. And now let's meet the starters for Team West Can. Starting with the goaltender, number 1, Sadie Hunter. At defense, number 9, Kaylee Peters. Her defensive partners, number 12, Aubrey Waddle. At wing, number 16, Brooke Clavel. At wing, number 91, Ava Raleigh. And the centers, number 55, Jules Fleece. And the rest of Team West Can. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps as we honor Canada with the playing of O Canada. To both teams, and let's play hockey.
And welcome in to the 2012 division of the 2024 North American Female Elite Showcase. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing the play-by-play of this afternoon's matchup. We've got the Manitoba All-Stars and Team West Can. Team West Can in the white jerseys, black numerals outlined in red. They go from right to left. And Manitoba in the navy blue with white names and numerals, red shoulders. They go from left to right. This is played into the offensive zone for West Can, but doesn't stay, I was going to say doesn't stay there long. It will stay in, but they need to touch up. This gives an easy exit for Manitoba, as playing that up the line is Brielle Montaigne. She centers the top line, which is actually just heading off the ice right now, with Adley Harrison on her right, Charlie Proctor on her left. This is the first game for Manitoba in the tournament. A little bit of an odd format, and their pool has an odd number of teams in 5. So the other 4 teams got an opportunity to play yesterday. The West Can team fell by a score of 3-1 to Team MN Purple. Breaking out is Team West Can. They will dipsy-do at the red line, and Baby looking for a return pass. This will be picked up by Danica Wood. Manitoba trying to quickly exit their own zone, pinned in by Kylan Soloway. Soloway will chase after it. Andy Wilson rims it around the boards. This is picked up by Sarah Bagora. Bagora does a nice job there of sealing that line. Here's Wilson. Wilson with a pass kind of in between a couple of players. Brooke Adams pokes at it, unable to get a clearance. Back down low. Here's Wood once again. Wood gets tangled up. Nice job there. Sometimes you can't steal possession away, but you can at least tie things up, make it difficult for your opponent. And that's exactly what they've done here. Firing a shot doesn't get on target. But Chloe Gollop did a nice job there forechecking down low, and it worked out. Sometimes that extra effort works out for one of your teammates. It ended up working out for her as she was later able to get a steal. Stepping up was Bodnar to make sure that one didn't exit the zone. Still hemmed in, and now it does come out to neutral ice as we played back. A little bit of a miscue on the direction, however, had plenty of time and space to work with as they caught Manitoba in a change. 12:19 left to go in the opening frame. They'll get that to the red line and dump it in. With plenty of time to work is Wood. Wood comes up the right wing side. Trying to work things out with Angelina Frey. Frey kind of in line with her, and while normally you'd say that's a good thing, sometimes it can make it difficult if your teammate is directly behind you just because you don't have a good sight line for a potential pass. They hack at it, but it's pinned by Manitoba. Centering pass, and touching that on was Ava Rawlake. Coming up the side with some speed is Jules Fleece. Fleece centered the top line, or the starting line for Team West Can. On her left, Brooke Clavel and Rawlake on the right. We'll go through all the starters here when we have a break, but we have not had a whistle in over 3.5 minutes of play. There's a nice job on the defensive side by Marissa Thompson. Thompson swatted at that on the backhand to get it out. Then she takes one off the left shoulder. Doesn't seem to be any worse for the wear. She'll spin, pick up some speed, and then bringing it up the right side. More often than not, you're going to find some open players on the left. Now you have to be careful, but a great job there by Thompson to make sure that pass didn't get picked off, and because of it, Manitoba's deep in their offensive zone. Now they'll feed it to the point. Thompson throws it towards the net. Tipped on inadvertently as the 244s touched it in back-to-back plays. That was Riel Lacina for Team West Can. Heads down and was close to being icing. They'll wave it off. Nice job there catching that is Montaigne, and then brings it in. Went forehand, backhand, and then skated it out of the zone. Goes from blue line to blue line and even deeper than that. With it is Harrison. Harrison will circle the wagon. Now she brings it out front, cuts back, stops clockwise and counterclockwise, spins a couple of times. Eventually, that is picked up by Aubrey Waddell. Waddell has the lone goal for Team West Can, and looked like it was credited as an unassisted goal, so at least officially on youthhockeyhub.com, she is the only member of Team West Can with a point coming into this contest. Obviously, small sample size as they played just one game, and again, Manitoba is getting their first action of the NAFES right now. Thompson, centering pass, and picking up with a ton of speed was Kennedy Vokey. Vokey then just had it stripped away from her or poked off of her possession, and that was enough to stop her dead in the tracks. Sophie Douglas looking for a centering pass, couldn't find one. That was actually a play where it missed Adams, and it worked out better because of it. Vokey not able to get it on side, as a little bit ahead of her was Aubrey McCrea, and that gives us our first break in the action. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play of this afternoon's matchup. Greg Tinty, our camera operator, our engineer and producer. The goaltenders who for the two squads, a good defensive matchup so far. We've really not had to call their names. It's Sadie Hunter for Team West Can. She wears number 1. Olivia Roberts dons 33. Has a little bit of a size advantage in the one-on-one matchup with Hunter. This is forked out to the red line, but good pressure. It's going to be offside, however, so Manitoba is going to need to touch up. That's Chloe Cates, the daughter of head coach Andy Cates, who had a little bit more time. She was pressured, but because they went in offside, had plenty of time to right the ship. Nice job there by McCrea. Centering pass. And does not get through. Cates will come up with a left-handed shot. Feeds that ahead for Fleece. We play down the length of the ice. Stopping and starting is Wood. And now gathered by McCrea. One touched on to Frey. Frey is steered to the side by her numerical counterpart, Kaylee Peters. They both donning 9. Looking for a pass to Wilson at the point. And unable to get that. It's centered and then actually using the backside of the stick. A centering pass and won't connect. Nice opportunity there. Waiting in the slot was Rooney Kringen, in fact, just outside the crease. A grade A scoring opportunity. Soloway brings it in the other way. Looking for an opening. And I was going to say Waddell, but Waddell up high. Can't really see the numeral. That's actually Crosby Schneider. Well, should have known. Crosby Schneider wearing 87. Made famous by Sidney Crosby. And there's a glove save out of Roberts, and she will hold on for the whistle. 7:23 left to go here in period number 1. Mentioned the starters in goal and the top lines for Team West Can. They start out with Peters and Waddell. Here's a chance. Backhand, and it's denied. Hunter got down low. Harrison with a good look on the backhand. This time forehand, but she misses, unless perhaps maybe somebody got a piece of it and deflected it wide, but I think she just tried to go backdoor far side and couldn't quite tuck it in. Harrison with a couple of good looks. And then they saw Gollop coming and wanted to get out of the way, as Gollop is one of the taller skaters for either side, and she awaits as there's a 2. No, she won't await. She'll actually jump in the fray. A rugby scrum ensues in the corner, and it was a 2-on-2 fair numerical battle. Gollop made it a 3-on-2, but Manitoba still able to come away with the puck. They feed it with a pass below the goal line. Now sent up. And looking a great job to hold it in for a moment as it kicked off of a skate, but unable to keep it there for long. And we're going to have a whistle here. That's going to stop action with 5:10, and the faceoff looks like it's going to come just outside the zone. A little bit precarious of a change there, and I thought perhaps we had seen a too many players on the ice call, but not the case. Team West Can has it picked off. Backhand effort, and a great job there by Hunter, sliding over and sealing that near side post as we see it here. We're set up on the south end of the rink, or the sheet rather, the north end of the rink. And so it's Team West Can defending the east goal here in the opening 15 minutes. Played back into the zone, and it's covered by Wilson. She will retreat out there with Wood as her D partner. She'll rim it around the boards. And tied up there by Coates. Coates does a nice job of stepping up, not quite pinching, but playing aggressively and not staying back at the blue line. That's why they've kept it in the zone to this point. Manitoba looking to get out. Wilson tries to backhand it and is thwarted as Fleece was able to get her twig in and prevent that from going too far. Wood now with it is pressured, swings it around the boards. Banked and just out of the reach of Lucina. Coates will race back to track it down just in case it didn't get there, but it does have just enough to go over the goal line, and we will have an icing call coming up back in Manitoba's end. Manitoba went with Marissa Thompson and Beatrix Gibson-Struthers as their starting D pair. Thompson on the right, Gibson-Struthers on the left. Thompson now with it as they're back out there. Peters keeps it alive. She's able to just play that around Frey. Head on a swivel is Roberts. As the goaltenders haven't been tested a ton as far as shots on goal. There's a great pass. We'll hold that thought for a moment. Firing a shot. It hit the twine. Some Manitoba fans thought that one had gone in, but from the side of the cage, they'll get it to Thompson. Thompson puts everything she has into that. And I want to point out, Aubrey Waddell there made a fantastic decision. For a moment, she saw that puck, and you could see her going, I can get to that, and thought, you know what? That's a shot from way far out. My goaltender can handle that. The last thing I want to do is tip it in, tip it and send it wide, and then maybe it kicks off the back boards. Tip it and maybe it gets on target but leaves a rebound. Great decision by Waddell to say, just because you can get to a puck doesn't always mean you should. And there, she let her netminder see it the whole way, and it was an easy glove save for Hunter. At the blue line, brought into Manitoba zone. With it is Hadley Kowalchuk. Now Coates racing. Harrison tips it away, feeds it out front, and scoring! Putting it through is Brielle Montaigne on a fantastic 2-on-1 that had developed, and Manitoba gets on the board first. They're on top by a score of 1-0. Montaigne from Harrison. We'll see if they end up crediting a secondary assist, but I think it should be just those two. And right back in, Harrison tries to feed it over to the left side. Instead of Montaigne, this time it was Proctor that was her intended target. And West Can looking to get out of the zone. Just before they got to the blue line, had it stripped away. Bodies piling up right in front of the Manitoba bench.
Scored by number 11, Briley Montaigne. With a single assist scored at number 71.
Tracking it down is Bodner.
17 of the first period.
So it was indeed just Montaigne from Harrison. We'll call time of the goal 11-17. Centering pass out front, firing a shot, putting it right on was Adams. But Hunter down in the butterfly, occupying as much space as possible down low. They lift the shot up, and she has no problem with it. Really, the difficult part of that save was instead of it being over on her glove side, it was almost right down the middle of her, and she had to kind of catch that right in front of her face, which can look easier than it is, but comes up with it, no rebound given. This is played out of the zone by Nast, brought right back in by Team West Can. Out front, and a shot held on. No, it trickles through, and the netminder thought that she had gotten enough of it to freeze the puck. The official says no, so it is Team West Can coming right back. And there were a couple of players there right on the doorstep. So I'm not even going to guess on this one, as there were sticks from both sides hacking and whacking away at it. The West Can sticks end up putting it in, and we'll get confirmation here in a moment. how they're crediting this one, but at 12:33 of the period, just over a minute after the Manitoba squad had taken the lead, it's West Can coming right back and equalizing it.
Scoring for Team West Can, number 87, Crosby Schneider. The single assist going to number 19.
So it's going to be Schneider and Kylan Soloway with the assist.
Of the first period. Schneider from Soloway for Team West Can at 12:33.
2 minutes left to go in our opening frame. They'll look to break out, slamming on the brakes and then feeding it up. Don't go too far. We'll just have 60 seconds in between periods. So we'll ask you to hang out with us, looking to feed that over. And a nice move there by Frey. This is sent up high. And out of the zone, Thompson brings it right back in. Thompson on the backhand, and a nice job there by West Can to break that up. A shot, but doesn't end up as a shot on goal. 80 seconds left to go in the frame. Swung around for Gibson Struthers. A collision, and Crosby Schneider actually helps keep that in the zone for a moment. We're going to have a penalty upcoming. It'll be the first of the game, and it comes with a minute and 6 seconds left to go in the period. Interference will be the call. And headed to the sin bin for West Can is Bodner. So 13:54 time of the goal. Play down the length of the ice. And swinging around is Wilson. Wilson chips it up from the left wing side. They look for a centering pass, and a nice job there by Harrison to jump into open space. I don't know if that was intended for her. She was able to get to it and keep it alive, at least for the moment. Played out, and here's Thompson. Thompson.
Number 22, David Bodnar. 2 minutes for interference.
Looking for Harrison. Thompson. Nice job there by Harrison to cover her at the point. Now Harrison out front opens herself up. They couldn't find a passing lane. Played to the left point. Wilson plays pitch and catch and sends it back down low. Harrison on the backhand feed, snapping a shot, and just unable to get that to go was Montaigne. Now Harrison and Montaigne have connected before. The clock will run out with 54 seconds left to go on the power play for Manitoba. We'll take a quick break in the action, but we'll be back in about 60 seconds time. You're watching the 2012 division of the 2024 North American Female Elite Showcase. It's Manitoba All-Stars and Team West Can locked up at 1 apiece right here on Youth Hockey Hub. And welcome back in. Second period just about to get underway. 15 minutes up on the board. And it is Team West Can down a player for the next 54 seconds there without the services of Bodner called for interference. Coates gets that to the red line, flicks it in, and Andy Wilson will take over. It is the Manitoba All-Stars in the navy blue uniforms, white numerals, red shoulders and trim. They now go from right to left for the next 15 minutes. Played up to Montaigne. She's got the goal for Manitoba. Pressured by Fleece, spins away, finds a little bit of an opening on the backhand and flicks one on. I think that was a blocker save, if not maybe even the stick of netminder Hunter, who comes up with a stop. She's directing traffic, and you always love to see a goaltender who communicates well, often and accurately to make sure that the 5 skaters, or in this case 4 out in front of her, are where she wants them. And a nice job there as Hunter uses the stick to break up a would-be centering pass. Thompson will pick it up in her own zone behind the goal line. Breaks out with speed. Got it a little bit too far out in front of her, and that was played deep by Kowalchuk. This time it'll be Frey. Frey immediately has that poked away by Waddell. With it is Clavel into the offensive zone and just has that one stolen away. Frey bullied her and took her lunch money. Waddell waits and got that tangled up in the skates of teammate Kowalchuk into the offensive zone. They won't stay there long thanks to Thompson. Thompson read that like a free safety, jumping a route and picking it off. Went from defense to offense in a hurry. 13:07 left to go here in period number 2. 1-1 the score. Both goals coming back in the first period and late in the period. As the first 10 minutes, you didn't see a lot of shots and didn't see a lot of grade A scoring opportunities. Seemed like a feeling out period for these two squads, both from the nation to our north. Team West Can, a lot of these weekend tournament teams are going to be players that aren't from the same area and don't all normally play together, but they're primarily based out of Calgary, or that's what we call their home base city, whereas Manitoba representing the great city of Winnipeg. This is sent around the boards. Tracked down by Schneider. Because of her first name and the number, I keep wanting to call her Crosby, but Schneider does a good job to jump on that puck and keep it in the zone. Manitoba now second straight time able to get out. Here's Bagora. Finds a lane as the seas just parted there. Baby across the line. Rawlik did a nice job to make sure her toes were on the side as she jumped back out to neutral ice for a brief moment. Soloway with it down low, and that's swept her out of harm's way. Looking to get out of the zone was Makura, and on second effort they do. Bodner got tangled up there. Here's Fleece, and she'll kick that off the back boards. Gathered by Nast, swung around. Makura backed up by Wilson. Wilson now with it, and she'll lead the charge. Centering pass, it pinballed around. What I liked there was for Manitoba realizing that Wilson, the defenseman, had jumped up. They realized somebody had to cover, and actually for a moment, Vokey and Adams both went back, and you'd rather have too many players back than not enough. Eventually they talked it out. But they always say it's the first 3 in should be going up. The last 2 should be dropping back. The issue there was Manitoba really had their second, third, and fourth all looked like Rockettes lined up and all about as deep as one another, but good defensive responsibility shown there by Manitoba. Looking for a tip out front in the slot. Couldn't quite connect. Backhand by Coates, and Makura does a nice job there making sure that doesn't trickle through her. Eventually she wins that battle and plays it at least to Team West Can's blue line. And important there to get it out and then allow her an opportunity to change. Obviously, this period, the period that your bench is furthest from the net, you defend, and therefore teams can sometimes get caught unaware. And a nice job there. Jumping the route was Harrison as the pass was made back, but Harrison coming off the bench was in perfect position and perfect timing to break that up. Lacina swings it around, reaching in, Gollop. Tied up rather, by Coates, but Manitoba able to fight through that. And Montaigne banks out off the boards for Harrison. Harrison didn't collect it cleanly, but didn't have to because there was time. And now this is broken up, and it's Douglas coming in, slams on the brakes. Nice job on both ends where it looked like they're going to have a scoring opportunity, and then this is just swept away on the backhand. Wood had a little bit more time than she realized, but not a bad play, especially on your backhand. You don't know how far you're going to be able to get that out if you wait half a second, and she cleared it up, not out. Finally, Manitoba does get it out, and now here comes Harrison. Harrison in on a partial break, goes to her, tries on the backhand. I anticipated something before it happened. Another effort. Knocked down out front. We're going to have a penalty coming up on Team Westcan. And finally touched up and possessed by Aubrey Waddell. Going in there, and that fooled even myself. Harrison, the whole time she was dragging it, and I thought, well, she's eventually going to, on her backhand, pull it to the forehand, try to elevate it, but kind of taking a surprise angle, just tried to flick it on the backhand, and looking back at it, probably the best opportunity she had to score, as had she gone forehand, would have been easier to seal off that zone. There's a shot right on, and it leaves an awkward rebound for Hunter to deal with, but she is able to keep that one out. Looks like the guilty party for Team Westcan will be Kylan Soloway. Floated the length of the ice, and heading over to play that is the netminder. They'll call it roughing. So Soloway stuck in the box for the next 80 seconds, she hopes. Frey gets tied up by Bodner. Frey fights through the contact, centering pass. Right down Broadway, but nobody home. And the toughest part of that for Andy Wilson is she's a left-handed shot. Would have been teed up better if it had been on the right side. We'll hold a thought for a moment as Thompson centers it out front. What a snapshot there by Montaigne. She had the left side low corner pegged, but kicked out by the right skate of Hunter. Centering pass, and then fought off by the netminder. Up to Thompson, and a pad save again, punch down low. With it is Harrison. Harrison using the shoulders to try to get Team Westcan to bite that she was making a big move in the way she was still going, and then cut back the other way. Looked like they really weren't fooled by it. This is an interesting period to figure out, because you have to realize that in a moment ago when Manitoba was trying to gain the line, they also were making a change, and the tough part is the boards are high enough where the players are using the door, not jumping over the boards. And so they're jumping onto the ice and coming off the ice. As there's a shot that Montaigne tried to snap high near side, and the netminder got just enough of it to keep it out. It's favoring Manitoba when they're making a change, as they did a moment ago while it was in the zone, but when the puck comes out to neutral ice, they've got to change in an offside position, so there's a mad dash for the at least the forwards do. There's a mad dash for all three of the new forwards to quickly get out of the zone to go right back in, but make sure the play stayed onside. Centering pass, and will not go. Team Westcan sends it up the line. And that one kicks, and a great job there. Holding on to it was Lacina. For a moment, it looked like it was going to roll her stick, and now goes all the way in. Forehand shot. Save made. Lacina at first just to gather that one and hold on to prevent a breakaway for Manitoba, and then she goes the distance and gets a good shot on net. Not able to hammer that one home, though, Team Westcan. Gollop ties up at the line, plays that forward, and skating into it was Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk has that broken up by Gibson Struthers. Kowalchuk will now try the opposite way. Dancing with it, had it poked off of her stick, pried out to neutral ice, and a nice job there. Didn't have much time, but Gibson Struthers made the play to keep it out. Centering pass, and it's held onto by the netminder. And some pushing after the whistle. 5:06 left to go here in period number 2. A great look for Team Westcan, and they'll have to settle for an offensive zone restart. Team Westcan, I mentioned, already played Team Minnesota Purple. Their next match is tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon over on Rink 2 here at the Blaine Super Rink against the Western Selects. That being at 1 o'clock. Centering pass and a score. Great feed from the right wing side, and Charlie Proctor hammers that one home. And the key to that goal was how much she got on the shot. And the reason I say that is because Proctor's shot was met by Hunter. Hunter got a piece of it, not enough to keep it out. And Manitoba gains the lead once again, this time by a 2-1 margin. Played through to Proctor. Proctor has that kick off of her skate, and Harrison will settle it down, feeds it over to Nast. Nast backhands it from left to right, and Manitoba uses the whole village to get that clearance. Now over to Proctor. Proctor tries to go back where she got that pass from and find Harrison. Stepping up is Nast. Swatted at by Frey down low, and here's Peters. They'll peel off and sticked away.
With the assist go to number 71, Adley Harrison, and number 11, Briley Montaigne.
So it will be Harrison with the primary assist, and saw that. I wasn't quite sure on where the second one was coming from. It was Brielle Montaigne. So Harrison and Montaigne each with 2-point afternoons, and it was a fantastic setup by Harrison. Through all that seeming traffic, she was able to find Proctor, and that top line of team, the Manitoba All-Stars, have connected on both goals for Manitoba and sees their squad on top. Gollop will chase it down just at the right restart face-off dot in her own zone. Slams on the brakes as Rooney Kringen applying some good pressure. Banked behind the cage, Bagora. Now with the green light, Bagora leads the charge. Bobs and weaves through the middle. Fought off with a little bit of contact from Wood. Bagora lost the handle. Good job there by Wood with a physical presence, but not enough to warrant the whistle. We're down to 3:01 left to go in the frame, and it looks like everybody on the ice practically involved on a 3-on-3 scrum on the south end of the boards. Coming away with it is Manitoba. Scored moments ago, and a big sigh of relief for Manitoba is the last time they scored, the Team Westcan squad answered immediately. That has not been the case to this point. Played deep by Bagora. Centering pass through the slot. And it is picked up by Soloway. Backhand effort. Pad save. It's still loose. They poke at it. Can't quite get it to go. Now Wilson. Disturbed. Wood will pick up the slack. Centering pass, but picked off Soloway. And then it's given right back. A nice chip there by Makura. Makura taken down by Schneider, no call. Minute 50 to go. And Schneider rims it around. They'll talk it out. It's Adams, Brooke Adams. Stays below the goal line, switches ends. Backhand centering pass, stepping up, teeing one up was Gibson Struthers, and they put it home from there. Gibson Struthers stepping up to take that shot. It ends up with Kennedy Vokey. And she's able to find the back of the net and give her squad a 2-goal lead. It's 3-1, 13:29 time of the goal. So this should be Vokey and Gibson Struthers with an assist. I'm not sure if it was the primary or secondary. There's a blocker save.
Kennedy Vokey. The assist go to number 4, Brooke Adams. And number 13.
So it was Adams who got the touch in between.
Time to go, 13.
And we're down to 65 seconds left to go here in the second stanza. Centering pass, but nobody home, at least wearing the correct laundry from where the pass came from, as Team Westcan clears.
Less than 1 minute remaining in the second period.
Dancing with it is Gibson Struthers, and she angles out Raw Lake. Sometimes fans will want to call there, but she's entitled to that space as well, and if you can get in front of your opposition and basically angle them to where they don't have a lane to skate, that's not a penalty unless you really lean into it and initiate too much contact in the official's eyes. Under 30 seconds to go here in the frame. Manitoba, thanks to 2 goals here in the second with a 2-goal lead. They'll send it out to the left side and just out of the reach of Proctor. Proctor has one of the 2 goals. She battles with Coates. Coates gets it up to the line. Thompson keeps it in. Here's Coates. 8 seconds left. She'll bank it through the legs of one of the officials. Thompson will race down, sees that she's got to eat the final seconds of the clock, rings it around the boards, and we will have the period come to an end with the 2 goals scored in the frame. They came off of the sticks of Charlie Proctor and then most recently Kennedy Vokey. We'll take another quick timeout and we'll be back with the third 3-1. The Manitoba All-Stars on top of Team Westcan. You're watching the 2012 division of the 2024 North American Female Elite Showcase right here on Youth Hockey Hub. Third period action just underway. Team Westcan trailing by 2. They're in the white jerseys with black names and numerals outlined in red. And Team Manitoba, the Manitoba All-Stars rather, in the navy blue uniforms with white names and numerals outlined in red. A little bit of red trim in the red shoulders. They skate from left to right. If it helps, because it's helped me a little bit. Not the exact color schemes of the NHL teams that are closest to them, but not too far off. The red, white, and blue of Manitoba closest to the Winnipeg Jets, whereas the Calgary Flames, not enough orange in there or yellow. There's a straight shot from point blank range, and Hunter comes up with a stop and then is able to get to the second. Back out to Harrison. And that was the 5th, if not 6th, straight save for Sadie Hunter. Remember the opening minute of the third period. If Team West Can is able to come back and get a decision in a overtime results or a regulation victory, remember those saves as Hunter keeps her squad in it. They are down 2, but it could be a lot worse there as Manitoba's dialed up the pressure. Bodnar feeds it over to the left side. Schneider and Thompson trying to seal that point. Fighting for it there. A little bit of contact from Soloway, but not enough to get her back into the box. Looked like Baby was shaken up by that for a moment, but she'll stay out on the ice and join action. Comes charging in and collides there with Rooney Kringen on the netminder. Might not have been quite on target, might have been going wide, but not wanting to see where that puck would end up. And Olivia Roberts will hold on. It seems like we haven't had to call her name a ton in the last 15, 20 minutes or so of the broadcast, and that's because the Manitoba squad has really done a fantastic job throughout the game, but especially in the second period, of setting up their defensive zone like a fortress, and there have not been too many opportunities for Team West Can and too many passes made in the offensive third. High off the glass that protects the scorekeeper as Coates was able to kiss it off the plexiglass. Now with it, and stepping up is Riel Lacina. Slid over to the far side. Frey hacks at it. That kicks off of a skate, I believe. That was off Ashley Duhamel, and she immediately heads off for a change after that one hit her foot. This one's dumped right back on target. Sticked aside by Roberts. Nast. As that'll help Roberts' save percentage. Cutting through the middle was Waddell. She was upended, but the officials keep their hands at their side and their whistles there too. As in their opinion, not enough to warrant a call, and I tend to agree with them there. Snapping one from outside the blue line, and unfortunately for Team West Can, the last couple of times the puck has gone towards Roberts, it has been from downtown. Here's Soloway. Soloway feeds one into the middle, but Rhea Baby had players on her from either side and was quickly swarmed. Manitoba overmans the puck in that tie-up. They had a 3-2 personnel advantage, and because of it, they come away with the puck. Now cutting through the middle, Vokey feeds it over, looking for a return back. Won't get one as Makura is tied up to make a pass and then literally tied up in the corner. And Vokey decides we might not win this one. I'm going to head off for a change. They do come away with it. And then broken up was the centering pass by the stick of Hunter. But boy, what a wonderful job there by Mercuria. First outmanned 3-2, then 3-1, and then we will have a penalty upcoming. It's going to come on Manitoba, and that's got to be frustrating for the All-Stars because it's an offensive zone penalty, and those are the ones you want to take least often. Montaigne will head to the box with 3 minutes and 15 seconds gone by here. Check that, 4 minutes and 15 gone by. Tripping will be the call, and Brielle will now stand and await her fate. As we've had a penalty per period to this point. Swiping at it was Nast. And they feed that up to Bodnar. It just escapes her. She did get a piece of it, but not enough. Bagora feeds that over to the middle. Now still with it, Bagora. Cuts a couple of times, dances around several players. Now Fleece with it. Fleece looked like she was eyeing a wraparound attempt, and Wilson sniffed that out. Andy Wilson broke that one up. Backhand effort that will kick off of a Manitoba player, and Team West Canada does everything they can to keep it in the zone. They have for the moment. Stepping up a drive and right into the breadbasket of the netminder. Roberts will hold on for the whistle. 9:43 left to go here in the third. 50 seconds, most importantly, left on the penalty to Montaigne. She's having a conversation with Ashley Duhamel as the penalty box is just space next to the bench. It's not physically a box here, so you can easier to talk, and you can easily just do something like hand them a towel or a water bottle if necessary. Thompson didn't get what she wanted on that one, but just stepping up, it helps slow down the attack. Here's Lucina. Lucina fighting through. There's a great centering pass and just too hot to handle for Kowalchuk. They won't get the clearance they were looking for. It might work out better in a shorthanded bid for Makura. And she'll take it down low and waste some time. Nice dipsy dangle. Now feeds it to Thompson. Caught it on her backhand, brings it forehand, and looking for a tip was Makura. That will kill off the penalty. Montaigne comes out of the box and is immediately replaced by Voki. So a nice job there by Manitoba, not only to kill off the penalty, they actually had a couple of looks at it shorthanded. And usually when you see those shorthanded bids, they're a counter, they're a transition. It's a 2-on-1 type of a rush. There, they were actually setting up and feeding the puck around in the offensive zone. So again, Manitoba's special teams comes up big there. We're going to have a tie-up here. I don't think there's a penalty. I think with a couple of players down and in a dangerous and precarious spot, they'll just blow that play dead, safety being the most important issue, and we'll take a restart here in the Manitoba end. 8:09 left to go here in period number 3. Again, my name is Eric Zamora, bringing the play-by-play. Greg Tinty is the triple threat as he's our camera operator, engineer, and producer of this Youth Hockey Hub coverage of the 2024 North American Female Elite Showcase. Bodies tangle up as spilling there were both Proctor and Waddell. They both get up, dust themselves off. No worse for the wear. Good idea there by Wood as she had Harrison on the bank pass intended, but just led her a little bit too far. Fighting through some contact is Montaigne as Soloway slowed her down. Snapping a shot is Harrison, but absorbing part of it was Kaylee Peters and making sure that one was off target. Gathering it on the backhand, Soloway. Soloway gets it out of the zone. It was brought right back in, and now Soloway chops at it. That one took a couple of odd bounces on its side, and usually if you see it bouncing, it's going to start rolling one way. That one, it kind of danced back and forth right on the line. Peters plays that around Harrison and deep, but Wilson will take over. 7:05 left to go. 3-1 the score favoring Manitoba. Stepping up is Wilson, and she is aided by Duhamel or Duhamel. Wilson rings it around. Here's Duhamel. Sees the pressure coming. Waits for that puck to get to her and then immediately plays a game of hot potato as she knows she didn't have much time. Wood. Actually, it'll be Harrison. Wood out front guarding her own zone. Kind of took a spill, but that prevented her from getting it to it, not her teammate. Now Montaigne had Harrison on the short route. Now they'll feed Harrison. Harrison cuts through. goes forehand and scores. Harrison on a great pass. I believe that was Duhamel. And Montaigne picks up the secondary assist. So Harrison and Montaigne now with 3-point evenings, and it is 4-1. We'll call time of the goal 9:45 here in the third. 3 straight for Manitoba.
Scoring for the Manitoba All-Stars.
Now with it is Kringen. She'll slide it over to the opposite side. Duhamel feeds it up. Coates grabbed it from there. Snapping a shot from the right side, right in front of the crease. Into the corner. And now tracking it down is Chloe Nast. That will deflect, so we will have no icing.
The goal is number 17, Ashley Duhamel, and number 11, Riley Montaigne.
So Duhamel with the primary assist. I thought that was, but she's one of the players that sometimes tucks her jersey into her breezers or hockey pants, depending on your particular vernacular. Lacina comes over, and with that puck popped up in the air, really didn't go towards the puck, went to her opposition and tried to rub her out, almost like a pick play in basketball. Thompson comes up with it. And Makura there to back her up. Adams actually covering the point, and Thompson will revert back to her position. Schneider dances around. One player couldn't get past the second in Vokey. Soloway leading shoulder first. Helps make a defensive play. There's a shot from in tight. Makura and Adams, both with an opportunity for the last touch. Pass below the, or behind the net, below the goal line. 4:05 left to go here in regulation. And Soloway trying to get out of the zone. That one will kick off of Adams. Good pressure. Second effort by Bodner, and eventually it will come out to the neutral third. Soloway angling off Gibson Struthers. Rawlake, centering attempt, but it was pestered by Manitoba's back checking. Because of that, really never got through. Vokey finds that over her left shoulder. Set up by Adams. Absorbing that shot was Waddell. Again, she had the lone goal for Team Westcan in their contest versus Minnesota Purple. It's Schneider who lit the lamp here this evening. Played to the point, and that one never got through. Broken up by Fleece. Fleece, the starting center for Team Westcan. This is played deep. Wood now with it. Rims it around the boards. Digging at it was Harrison. Harrison feeds that to herself. And a great pass through 3 players, somehow able to get it over to Proctor. Wasn't right on, but to open space. And you would have thought that that shot would have had a very low chance of getting through. She's able to make that work. Montaigne dances with it down low, feeds it, and here's Proctor. Proctor tries to send it out front. All 3 of the young ladies on that top line for Manitoba have a goal. And they're a big reason their squad leads 4-1. Tipped on beautifully, short side, as Sophie Douglas allowed that one to kick off of her blade and kind of run up the shaft of her stick. A tough angle for the netminder, but she's able to hold on and a glove save with 2 minutes left to go as the puck is dropped. Gibson Struthers met by Chloe Gollop. Gollop tangles up with her again. The two sides look more intent to just pin themselves in the puck there in fear of giving up any space. Gollop has that one stripped away from her. Poked out. Lucina now with it. She'll lead the charge. And just as I say that, good job by Rooney Kringen of getting in and breaking up that opportunity. Still in the offensive zone. We're down to 70 seconds left in regulation as this one will be covered up by the netminder. Up next for these two squads, Manitoba will play their second game of the weekend tonight over on Rink 6 here at the Super Rink. Western selects their opponent. They will cap off pool play tomorrow back here on Rink 4 versus Team Minnesota Purple. That's at 11:30 in the morning. Big blocker save by Hunter. And at this point, as the Manitoba squad have it deep in the offensive zone, it looks like Team West Can is going to take the L today, but Sadie Hunter playing a fantastic game and did everything she could to get a decision for her squad. Soloway does a nice job there of playing it. Centering pass. Now stepping up, and a good look there by Sarah Bagora. 27 seconds as this one gets tangled up in the corner. Bodnar wastes no time, floats it towards the net, not on target, but looking for a redirection to kick off of a body, something to get that centered out front and on target. Tangling up is Rhea Baby, showing some strength there as she was able to keep that from going, despite being initially outmanned by a 2-1 margin, eventually getting some help. 6.4 left on the clock, so should likely be our last face-off, and it'll be taken by Kennedy Vokey in the defensive zone. They'll play it down low. Wilson has that knocked away from her, but Team West Can will not have a chance to get one out front, and a final here by a score of 4-1. It was close through 15 minutes as the two teams traded goals. It was Montaigne for Manitoba, followed by Schneider from Team West Can. That made it 1-1 going into the second, but then two goals in that frame by Proctor and Vokey. And Harrison put one in on the third. It ends up being a goal and 2 assist stat line for Adley Harrison, as she's named the Youth Hockey Hub Player of the Game for Manitoba. And for Team West Can, it was Crosby Schneider with the goal. With that, we'll go ahead and put a bow on this one as Manitoba, in their first game of the weekend, goes to 1-0-0. Team West Can falls to 0-2-0. For myself and for Greg Tinty, we appreciate you tuning in. A final Manitoba 4 and Team West Can 1. You've been watching the 2012 division of the 2024 North American Female Elite Showcase right here on Youth Hockey Hub.